economics is all about common sense. Y'all know it. All I'm going to do this semester is just remind you of some stuff, or maybe word some stuff in a way, or organize it. Maybe you hadn't thought of it before, but all economics is discipline. Discipline. It's like time and money. If you waste money, you won't have it when you need it. If you waste time, you won't have it when you need it. Waste time, you won't have it when you need it. Use your time unwisely, then your life ain't gonna work out too good. If you waste your money, you won't have it when you need it.
They call it common sense.
You don't have that.
You can't repeat what you just said either.
What did you say?
Yeah, you don't even know what you said either. I'm using it too hard.
What is it?
We got wants,
Desiree?
we got needs. Tell me what a definition of needs would be. Food. You have to have it.
Okay, listen
Necessity.
up to listen.
Yeah, common sense right here.
No. Listen to wants versus needs. What that means.
No. What do you say?
Need. How
What?
to have
Give me some example of needs.
food.
They have food.
Water.
They have water.
Shelter. I have the same thoughts as everyone else.
Good.
We don't need clothes.
Yeah, we do.
Walk around and know.
Yes, we do. Now,
Says you. Really? Are you kidding?
we talked about this already, what's the problem with,
Say mine.
really not this one, but if we're talking about like, okay, we built a new house, and we didn't have to build a new house, but little Titan was living in our closet. In the middle of the night, he'd get up and hold the sides of it and scream at us, and we couldn't do that anymore. That couldn't happen anymore. Did we have to build the house we built? No. We put extras on. And all those extras mean what? Money. I do like our house. I like my shower. I like the kitchen. I like the old house payment. I really like the old house payment. I don't like this house payment. Because we're having to pay for some extras. Some of the stuff's helpful. What about clothes?
You don't have to buy.
Do we buy extras on the clothes? Yes. And food. We buy food we don't have to have. We have to have food, but we might not have to have this food. So this is what causes some of the troubles, because we make some of these needs, we add some wants in there. And every little extra we add to these things means more and more money. Right? Now what about your wants? What's wants? It's all the other stuff. If it's not a need, it's a want. And all of these cost money. When you get paid, what do? You go buy stuff because you've been waiting, and you see stuff. You're like, oh, and then you got paid. Woo! We go. I get to go buy this stuff, and then your rent comes up. You're like, oh crap! I have to find a way to pay the rent. Do you have to find a way to buy your wants? No, that's easy. That's easy. You're just, woo! I'm gonna go to the store and buy. But then that's fun to buy. There's nothing fun about paying for this. The water bill is not fun. Going to the grocery store is not fun. any part of the grocery store that's fun is extra and it costs more money. Right? I'm going to throw this in there on the side. Budget. What is a budget?
A plan.
It's a plan. It's a plan. Yeah, it's a plan, and it is a plan for spending money, but it's really a plan for not spending money. Right? It's to keep you. It's to make you efficient. What's efficient mean?
Making money.
I'm not wasting. I don't want to waste my money because I want to make it last. Efficient means to not waste. In this case, money. If you're efficient with your time, you're not wasting time. If you're efficient with your money, you're not wasting money. My senior year in college, I had a campus job, I had a full-time job, I did track, and I had a full schedule, and I had more time, I made better grades, I had more money than I'd ever had in my life because I planned it out. I was efficient with my time, the first and only time in my life. Now, when you're spending money, the first thing you spend money on is God. I don't believe in God. That's between you and you. That's fine. That's y'all's deal. God told me to pay 10%, so I'm going to pay 10%. That's first. Second is what?
Savings.
You. You need to pay you.
30%.
Because you always are going to need money. And if you put something back, you can buy more wants. How's that?
Because you might want a little one then. But
You
that's
have something, you come across something, hey, I see it. If you got some money stashed away, hey, I can go buy that. Let's say you're 18. Some of y'all have income, some of y'all don't have income. Let's say as soon as you have regular income, you decide, I'm going to put $20 a month away. I'm going to put $25, let's say $25. Now, you're not going to make money off that. I used to say you can make some extra. You're not going to make extra in a savings account because banks are loaning out money at 3%, which means they can't pay you 2%. They might pay you 0.25%. So you don't get the interest that you used to get. But you put that money away. At the end of a year, how much money you got? $300? Is that right? 4 times or
Yep, sounds about right.
maybe, wait,
3 times 4 is 100, and then 4 times 3 is 100.
It's 300.
300? So at the end of the year, you got $300. 300 more than you had. If you put it away and don't touch it, that will grow. If you never change that, by the time you're 65, you would have a chunk of money. What you need to do is you get raises.
Increase the
Put
amount.
more in there. And as you start getting a real job, then you can put even more in there. But what you've done is you've established this habit of, I'm going to put money back every month. And if you don't do it now, you won't do it later. Because later, you have house payment, truck payment, this payment, medical bills, this, that. I mean, you just say, well, I want to make more money when I'm 40. Yes, but you're also going to spend more. Whatever you make, you're going to spend. It doesn't matter what you make, you're going to spend it. If you get a raise, you're going to spend it. And you're in the same boat, based on my experience. You're in the same boat here that you were 5 years ago. But if you establish that habit, and you make yourself, and like you threw out 30%. If you make it a priority and say, here's how much I'm putting away, that's already there. And you don't have to make that priority. Does that make sense? You already got that. And then by the time you're 65, 70 years old, or whatever, that chunk is going to be a lot bigger. Now, as you go, we'll get to this later, you can do other things with this money, and once you get this amount, you can put it over here or do this with it. But you've got to be able to pay yourself first and get in that habit because you're always going to need money. I guess I'll be 54 this year. The last month or so, my jaw. It ain't my teeth. I had teeth, man. It's my jaw. Something's weird over here. It hurts when I open my mouth and shut my mouth. Anybody do that? Anybody open your mouth and shut your mouth? What do you do to open your mouth and shut your mouth? What are you doing? You're eating food, right?
Yeah.
So every time I eat it, it hurts. The last month and a half, this arm has been numb. It's some pinched nerve deal. It's my elbow and my shoulder, and sometimes I go crazy. It just wears. It's mostly when I sit down and that get on the bus or something. It just wears me out. You're gonna have crap go wrong with you. Now, I'm not gonna go pay somebody for this. I don't need to pay someone. Well, your elbow hurt. Yes, I know. I don't need to pay somebody for that. When it gets to where I can't move it or something really goes, then I'll probably will go see somebody. But it's just a nerve thing. It's not a real. It's my left arm. I might go see somebody because that means you're about to die. And it's gonna pop and hurt, and I don't want to do that. I know it's coming. I told Christy I'd die in my 50s from a heart attack. I knew it was gonna happen. So I got 6.5 years left. I better make them good. So, now, am I telling you something you don't know? No, you know that. But just we don't do it. We know what we're supposed to do, we just don't do it. I did not save. So we float into the port every month with the water just right at the top of the boat. Just barely make it right to the dock. Yes, we made it one more month, and then next month we'll do the same thing. But I'm fixing to change that. I'm gonna have a savings account in about 3 or 4 months. I'm excited. And Cole will have a job. God, that's so awesome. A real life job. Okay. All right, scarcity, not Scar City. Scarcity. What word is in scarcity besides city? Scarce. Scarcity means you do not have the resources. To satisfy your wants and your needs. You don't have the resources to satisfy your wants and your needs. So what do you have to do?
Get another job.
Make money.
Spend less.
Take care of this. Then, maybe, take care of that. How many of y'all, and this goes back to what we was talking about earlier, if you got Christmas money or birthday money when you was little, would you rather have that money than the stupid crap you bought with it right now? Yeah. If you'd have put half of it back and had that chunk right now, that'd be way better than whatever dumb little thing you bought with it. Anybody buy a My Little Pony or anything? We never. You know what? Guess what? The Riles have never bought a My Little Pony. This has nothing to do with nothing. This weekend, I don't know why. I don't know how he knew. Titan wanted to watch Ghostbusters. I don't know if he'd ever watched it or seen part. Anyway, throughout the weekend we watched parts of it. And last night we was watching it again. And he was getting so mad. He was yelling at the TV because the Stay Puft Marshmallow guy was walking through the streets and he's like, "Get him! They're not doing anything. Get him!" He's just screaming at him. I'm like, "What do you mean? They're just sitting there not doing nothing. Get him! They gotta get him." He was so mad. I saw that. All right. Goods and services.
What you buy and what you pay for.
What are goods?
Stuff you buy.
Stuff. Things. It's tangible. What's tangible mean? You can see it, you can touch it, it exists, it's an object. Stuff, the services is not stuff, it's things that are provided, it's things that are done. It's the way things are done. They're intangible. Your life, your career is either going to be in goods or it's going to be in services. Anybody here a waiter or a waitress?
I make sandwiches.
That to me is the worst. Well, one of the worst jobs, arguably one of the worst jobs ever. What's so bad about it? Human beings. And human beings are stupid and they're selfish and they're lazy, which is a horrible combination.
I had a customer ask me yesterday what sand meant because we sell brisket sandwiches, and he picked it up because it says brisket sand. What does sand mean? It's great.
And you can't tell them I'm not answering that.
Yeah, you have to be like, oh, sandwich.
Figure it out.
Sandwich. Brisket sandwich.
Now, the worst part about being a waiter or waitress, I never was one. I always worked outside. That's it. I never wanted to work with people. Is, all right, me. I don't want to be messed with. I'm a waiter or waitress's dream. I don't care if you get me food late. I don't care if it's the wrong thing. I don't care I just want to be left alone. If you bring me the wrong food, I'll eat it. I won't take this back. No, I'll just eat it. If it's really the opposite of what I want, I might kind of go, I really wanted like a hamburger, not the cabbage soup. If that's, I don't forget. My dad was the serve me. I am that word to stop. Do you know which one that person? When you show up, you don't know who that person is. So you don't know which one they are. So they spring it on you. All right. Now I really don't like the frat boy waiter that comes up and like, oh hey, I'm Chip. I'll do your serve today. Oh, that's a nice looking shirt. Hey, what have you been doing today? I don't want to talk to anybody. Okay? I don't need your friendship. So Christy said one time we went to eat and we're sitting there and the guy comes up and he was Chip, the Phi Sig or whatever, and he left and then Christy said, "You scared him to death." I said, "What did I do? I didn't do anything. She just sat there." I was like, all I did was do it like that. She thought I was. You're being a jerk. What did I do? She does the ordering because she knows I hate talking to people. I can do it if I have to. One time when Christy graduated from college, Mom and Dad wanted to take her out to eat. So we take less than 1-year-old Pacer, 4-year-old Colt, and me and her, we show up at Weatherford. We go to this restaurant. It's its first day to be open. And it was like 5:30. So they weren't ready for anything. And we sat there for a long time. It probably was like 45 minutes we sat there. And the waitress comes up, she's like, "I'm so sorry, we're just flustered, everything's going." She says, "I'm sorry." And my dad said, "We are very hungry." And I said, we are doing just fine. Just looked at him like, "Oh." So, is it easy to measure whether a service is good or bad? Sometimes it's not. Because my idea of good service might not be your idea of good service. But we can all go along with the time and courtesy and all that, all that kind of stuff. But there's goods and there's services. Those are the two things that jobs fall into. Consumers and producers.
Consumers are the ones that ask if there's barbecue sauce in the barbecue sandwich.
Well, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it goes without it. Sometimes you just put the barbecue on there. Producers. Producers create and provide. Is everybody a producer?
Yes.
Yes, they are. You have a job, and if you don't produce, you can't consume. So everybody creates or provides. It could be a good, it could be a service. Consumers buy stuff. We are all consumers. But you gotta produce so you can consume. All right, last one. This is a review. But I noticed nobody wrote, or like very few people wrote the answers last time. The 3 economic questions. For business, what's the first economic question? Yeah, what will we produce?
For who?
How do you answer that question for yourself? Business asked, what are we going to produce? What do individuals ask? What am I going to do for a living? How do you come up with that answer?
How much are we gonna charge as a business will ask, and then how much we wanna pay?
No, like you. Like, how do you figure out, what am I going to do for a living?
What you like to do?
You find your interests. You find your talents. Because, how long are you going to be doing this?
Your life.
The rest of your life. And y'all can't stand this 30 minutes you've been here. So it better be something you're interested in. All right? You got to find something you're interested in so for the next 40 years, 50 years, you're okay with it. Your interests, your talents. You do this, your life can be okay. If you find out what you were made to do, and you were made to do something, and you figure that out, it doesn't matter how much money you make. It doesn't. Because then you're going to be content and satisfied no matter how much or how little you've got. Now this next economic question, how will we produce? How do you answer that one?
Do I work somewhere or do I start my own business?
That's next.
Oh, okay.
How do I get here?
It's like if you should go to college or not.
You got to figure out the training and the education you're going to need to get here. As you go through some training, as you go through some schooling, could this change?
Yes.
It could, probably will. But at least you're on the highway. That gets you on the right highway. This helps you find the exit.
That's the car.
That makes sense? You might think you're supposed to get off from this exit, and you do, and you figure out, well, it's the wrong place. So you gotta go this way. And the third question. Who will we produce for? Now, what is this question?
Are you gonna work for somebody or work for yourself?
Who's gonna pay me?
Do I buy into a law firm or do I start my own trade?
Now, you have a couple choices here. You can have a boss pay you, or you can let the public pay you. What's great about letting the boss pay you?
It's consistent.
Yes, it's
Has benefits.
I'm gonna put simple.
401k.
What else? When you punch out, what's not happening anymore?
You don't have to go home and deal
You're
with
not thinking about it. You're not worried about it. Little responsibility, less responsibility. Right now, the guy next to us over here is having to figure out and worry about what the little 7th and 8th grade boys are going to do in the track meet today. This guy up here in front of you is not worried about that. I was told by the boss that you need to get the high jumpers ready and the hurdlers ready. Yes, sir. I'll do that. I don't have any other worries. I don't know. My answer to any track question is, I don't know. I don't know. Ask the boss. Ask the track coach. What's the negative to having the boss pay, or a negative?
There's a ceiling.
There's a ceiling. There's a limit to how successful you can be.
One of our assistant general managers just transferred from a different job because there was an unofficial rule. You had to be 50 to be the boss. Like, they wouldn't promote anybody under 50.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was tired of it, so he left, like, and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
the unofficial rule.
Yeah. Now, if the public pays you, what's good about that?
You get all the profit.
There's upward mobility. Does that phrase make sense? More upward mobility. It's possible you could get more successful.
You're in control.
And you get to do things you want to do your way. In the past, if I didn't want to do the high jump, I would tell someone else to do the high jump.
Which fell.
Yeah. No, I don't do. Why would I get to tell them? I can pick and choose what I get to do. But as the boss, am I still worried about the high jump? Yeah. I'm still worried. I'm worried about everything because it's my responsibility. But you get to do it your way. I don't know how Coach Cook does the long and triple jump. I don't know. I know how I do it. And maybe he doesn't measure. I know he does. But what if he didn't measure steps and they just ran backwards when they got to the meet, ran this way against the wind, and then did this, and then I'm like, what are you doing? What? No, that's the boss's way. Okay, all right. It's wrong, but that's okay. What's crappy about the public? Hey,
There's no benefits, like
You gotta
guaranteed.
deal with the public.
well, it's everything is your responsibility. If I want to do that, it's my responsibility. My responsibility.
And you go home and you're thinking about it when you go to
Yes. There's no sleep. You're not off. It's never over. There's always, when this track meet's over, there's the next one. You got to worry about, I had to have these entries in, like, for the next week. Those entries are due this week, for next week. So, I hate that. I was tired of that. I've had enough of that. Now I just coach hurdlers and high jump. And stay around and make fun of people. That's a pretty good gig. Never made fun of you yet last week. Didn't make fun of you. I might make fun of you this week. We'll see. I don't think so. I don't know. All right. Good enough. We're finished. Yeah, we can dismiss the